how am I supposed to explain to my 3-year-old that her dad...
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation.
Immigrants, there are going to be the next group that are going to be the majority in this country, and they're trying to stop that. This is what, and Donald Trump understands this. He understands. So all of you immigrants who believe that that black people can be in some kind of way deported, you need to read the Constitution.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from now. A lot of MAGA farmers went and voted for deportations. The same deportations are now affecting their farms. They have lost all their workers due to ICE raids, and most of them are even shocked and confused because the black community is not being deported. So let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
You have to understand that black and YT people will not be deported in this country. There are some Native Americans being deported. Did you know that? There are some Native Americans that are being deported before us. Because they're not in the Constitution. They're not in the Constitution. We are the only people that they cannot touch like this. And y'all fail to understand this. And now I understand why there's so much hurt and so much pain and so much divide, so much angry people when it comes to when I see.
Man, what's going on TikTok? How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a wonderful day. But check this out. Man, I noticed something with this deportation thing. I just couldn't figure it out. I said it in my video, but I just never thought about it. These people keep saying we're going to get deported, we're going to get deported, we're going to get deported. They projecting because we the only people that didn't immigrate here. We didn't migrate here. We not refugees to come over here. We not in the immigration system. We didn't have to pledge allegiance and denounce another country just to live here. We didn't do none of that. We not anchor babies. Our parents didn't come over here, didn't had us here. None of that. But they have. They have. And they hate that. They jealous of that. They jealous of that. Because number one, they thought they were going to be our replacement. They were working on that. I ain't going to lie. They were working real hard to be our replacement. Then number two, they came over here to colonize us. But when they found out that Trump made it a way where we are emancipated people, we are children of slaves, we can't be deported. They hate that, and that bothers them. That jealousy and envy bothers them because they already come over here with jealousy. They already come over here with envy. But now they see we can't go nowhere. Now they want us to be scared with them. They want us to be scared of if we see an unmarked car drive past our house. They want our heart to be beating fast. You know what I mean? When we go to restaurants and we see ICE come take somebody, they want us to be scared with them. And we just out here popping fans, you know what I'm saying? Well, them fans, we just popping fans, having fun, enjoying life, talking, trying to get our money right, trying to see what's going to happen in the future. We ain't even thinking about ICE. We're not even thinking about being deported like they is. They want us to be scared like them. They want us to be worried like them. You get what I'm saying? That, and I'm like, damn, bro, like they really are jealous of us. Not just the Africans and Caribbeans, the Mexicans are jealous of us. Because they mad because they not part of the 14th Amendment. They not. There's a lot of white people not part of the 14th Amendment either. They jealous of that, bro. We can trace our family to the 1700s. Some people can go far back than that. And they don't like it. And they jealous of it. And they hate it. I know it burns them up. Like all the contempt, all the anti-blackness they say about us, the rhetoric, the stereotypes, all that stuff they spew. And that one thing they can't get is the citizenship like we have. We emancipated people and they hate that. Oh, they hate that. That burns them up. That's why they doing these scare tactics on us. That's why they doing all these things. Because they want us to be fearful, just like them, of being deported.
Listen, the illegal deportation of immigrants is actually a Black American issue. And let me tell you exactly why. Because they have birthright citizenship. And do you know where birthright citizenship comes from? It comes from the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was specifically ratified to give formerly enslaved people all the equal protection under the law, meaning that a former slave has all the same rights that anybody else in America has. It's the foundation for all the rights we enjoy as Black Americans, right? Because without that foundation, we were treated like second-class citizens. We're treated like second-class citizens as it is, but we have legal recourse because of the 14th Amendment. So if they are attacking that amendment, if they are ignoring what that amendment says, guess who they are coming for next? Guess who they are coming for next? I don't mean to be hyperbolic, but we are in a cultural civil war, and we don't have time to say that is their issue. No, it's our issue. In fact, it's everybody's issue. This has a specific impact on Black Americans, again, because the 14th Amendment is the foundation for all the rights we enjoy as American citizens. But if they come for that, they can come for anything. We can't let this continue to happen. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what ethnicity you are. I don't care what your Republican or your political leaning is, I should say. This is your issue. Stand up for your rights.
So this is for the Latino community that cannot understand why Black people are not coming out to help for protest marches or anything else under the sun. I'm going to give you a scenario, because maybe talking about politics gets your emotions too riled up for you to think straight. Maybe just coming from the Black perspective, you're not seeing that quite clearly. So I got this scenario for you to kind of just simply mow over a little bit. Now, of course, if you are Latino and you did not vote for any of this, what's going on, and you're on the right side, this is not for you. White people, if you voted and you're on the right side, this is not for you. Just enjoy the show. Now, imagine you got a white guy, a Black guy, and a Hispanic guy that are going to go to a trip to Las Vegas. Yeah. And they want to rent an Airbnb. Now, they got two options. There's two different neighborhoods with two different houses. Both houses have their own set of rules. Now, in one neighborhood, you see a diverse array of people. Homeowners, everybody's equal, everybody's happy, everybody's neighborly. And the house that we're going to rent from is a Black woman. And that woman just says, be respectful, be kind, don't mess up anything, and we cool. Help yourself to anything that's in the refrigerator. The gourmet stuff is for all of you, share it. The rooms, everybody gets an equal room. You can have a nice time over the weekend. And then there's another neighborhood where that neighborhood is full of wealthy white people. And you might see like that Black rickety house on the end that the Black people stay in, and that other rickety house on the end that Latino people stay in. And the house in that neighborhood is owned by a white dude. And his rules are, Latinos are not allowed in my house. Black people have to sleep on the floor and eat the scraps. And the white people get to stay in the master suite with the jacuzzi and eat all the gourmet food. Now, for common sense, people with common sense, you would think that was a no-brainer. But let's just say that the white guy sees the opportunity to have better than the rest, right? And so he goes, oh, I like the house in the white neighborhood. We're going Hell no, we ain't trying to sleep on the floor. We want to be equal too. And we don't want to eat scraps. That's not cool and that's not fair. And on top of that, they can't even come in the house. The Latino guy is going, yeah, I can't come in the house. But the white guy goes, hey, no, he doesn't mean all Latinos. He just means those certain Latinos that are, not that cool. But you're cool. If you vote with me to get this, I'll make sure you'll get in the house. And I'll make sure you get a master suite. And then we're going, he's lying to you, don't do it. And you fold and you go, yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Right? And we're just, oh, shit. So we go to the white neighborhood with the White House, and now we come up with our bags. The white guy opens the door. He's a let in. We're coming to the door. We're let in, but they tell us go to the basement. They stop the Latino man at the door and say, do you see the rules up there? No Latinos allowed. You look up to the white guy. Hey, what about us? I don't know what to tell you. As he proceeds up to the master bedroom, eating caviar. Now, your ass is sitting outside for an Airbnb you paid for or helped pay for. We're in the basement, cold as a motherfucker, with barely any food, and he up there living like a fucking king. And now you're looking in the window of the basement. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, you're not going to come out here and help me. We tried to tell you not to vote for the Airbnb that was going to screw us over. And now you want me to come up out of the small fraction of shit that I got when we all could have been living right. We all could have been having a fantastic vacation because you thought that white guy was going to take you up to the master with him while we slept in the fucking basement. Well, guess what? We ain't outside. And that's reflective of what's going on now because we ain't outside. Just thought that would help.
So I'm hearing how some cultures was saying that African Americans are next when it comes to getting deported. Not that I think anybody should be getting deported, but I think that's actually crazy to even think like something like that can happen, because it kind of goes to show how much y'all really know about African American culture in America, and that actually African American is literally just a label. It doesn't really speak to our lineage or where we're from, because whether you know it or not, most of us have Caucasian ancestors. If you know about how we got to this point in this country, a lot of our great grandmothers did not have the option on, who they had children with. So a lot of us actually have mixed and white grandparents. And I'm pretty sure all the other Black Americans on here can speak to that as well. Not only that, Native American grandparents, Native Americans who are actually Black indigenous people grandparents. So in order for them to deport us, it's kind of like they got to pull the thorn out of their own eye first. Because if we really got in our bag and got into our lineage, if they gonna deport us, they got to deport themselves too. You know what I'm saying? Because my closest roots is right here to home, not to Africa. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure some of my ancestors are from Africa, but that's you gotta go do some research to go find them. But you gonna run into my Caucasian cousins before you even get to them. I'm being real with you. Because they label us as African Americans does not mean we're from Africa. They literally just say that because you're Black. And being Black in America, most likely you're not just Black.
racist Latino community coming for Black Americans. Now we have other people in the diaspora talking about, but Black people are being deported too. What about us? We're not trying to be divisive, but I'm also remembering how many of y'all were sitting back saying that we were lazy, that we had no culture, we didn't know where we came from, and claiming things that are actually in our culture as your own. And I'm still not over the fact that a lot of y'all feel like Juneteenth, y'all should be celebrated too. So for y'all to sit in the comments and then co-sign on with that community that's being racist towards Black people, Black Americans, especially talking about, I'm so upset that the Black people are saying that they're not a part of this fight. It's all of us because some of us are getting deported too. Babes, we're Black American. Remember the same demographic that y'all said that we always want to be the main character and that we're so xenophobic because whenever we sit back and defend ourselves against people saying shit about us, we're those people. So please stop making Black Americans feel like they have to be fucking patriotic. Leave us the fuck alone. Remember, all the rest of y'all thought that y'all were the better imports. We were the old imports. We were here before America was America. Okay? And that is not a call for the pretendians. So, yeah. Leave us out of the whole conversation. If y'all want to team up because y'all can't stand Black Americans, then team the fuck up. But the law is the law because there's the civil law and then there's also the criminal law. And some of them have broken the civil and the criminal. And for the Latinos, the want to say, but we did Black Lives Matter. Number one, you saying that is very racist because that's negating that Afro-Latinos exist. So let's start there. And then on top of that, Black Lives Matter was about under the law. Things were not being done under the law. Under the law. The deportation is happening because that is the law. We, the Black people, the Black community, we were not getting justice served. Killing people on the street is not a part of the rules of the land, baby. The rules of the land, just like any other country, you have to have a visa or citizenship to stay here for years. For years. So comparing it and saying that y'all fought with a student in Black Lives Matter, number one, the numbers weren't numbering. Okay. And number two, that's negating the fact that y'all have Black people in your community. So it still goes back to you being racist. Because we were fighting for things that were actually due to us called due process. Maybe if you learned the rules of the land, you would know what due process means. And that's exactly what Black Lives Matter was fighting for us to actually have due process if somebody broke the law or if they didn't break the law and they were unjustly killed by the police. You being deported because you don't have proper documentation is just. What's not clicking?
You know why Black Americans can't be deported? Because they're not from Africa. They're not African Americans. We are not African Americans. We're not. We can't be deported. This is our land. I mean, think about it. You do have Haitians that are being deported as we speak. You do have Jamaicans that are being deported as we speak. But they don't identify as Black. They identify as Haitians. They identify as Jamaicans. They identify as Africans. Okay? So, yes, people with the same skin tone, yes, the same skin tone are being deported. But that's because they are not here from America legally. You get it now? You get it now? We are Americans. They literally erased our entire identity. They reclassified the indigenous people that were already on this land. That's why we can't be deported. Where are we gonna go to? Where can we go?
I scrolled past a post where this lady was like, there are actually black people getting deported. Like, black people are actually actively getting deported. And she was like dead ass serious. And she's like, so this really truly is our fight. Like, this like, we're supposed to be together in this. And I can't help but think, what type of black people are you talking about here? Because I'm thinking that you're not talking about my type of black people, my lineage, which would be like the FBA, descendants of the slave trade type black people. I'm thinking that you're talking about some type of diaspora black people. And I hate to say it like this, but as an FBA, we don't really care that much about them. A lot of, okay, and let me not say that to be mean or disrespectful or rude or anything like that. It's not that we're not cool, right? It's just that we don't look at other people who identify themselves as black people who are not from here as like brothers and sisters. And the reason why is because 99.99% of the time when they're coming over here, they're looking down on us, they're talking down on us, they're thinking that they're better than us, they're telling that they're going back to their countries and to their own folks, and they're saying how we're all black FBA people are lazy and how we don't want to work and how we all live off of government assistance and how they're better than us and how they're collectively doing better than us. And it's always some type of negative comparison that they have to make towards us. So why would I give a damn about you at all? Like, you don't respect me, so why should I respect you or give a damn what the hell happens to you? I do not care. Not my brothers and my sisters if you're talking shit about me. Like, this is not even to be divisive, because to be honest with you, black Americans were always like pro Pan-Africanists all like throughout our time, like throughout history. Like, we always been like pro black, like wanting to help black immigrants and just wanting, you know, to really build up a black community and a black diaspora and actually feel connected to other parts of the black diaspora, right? But it seems like when people started other blacks started migrating over here, it almost seemed like they almost kind of like felt intimidated or threatened by our presence and wanted to like replace us. And so felt like in order, you know, to do that, like they had to discredit us, disrespect us, and try to associate themselves with, you know, the others. So that's all I'm saying.
This is a new threat. I could quite honestly say that I, as a black American woman, have never been threatened with deportation before. So this is new. It didn't quite strike fear in my bones like you were hoping, Diana Ramos. What it actually did was make me laugh. Because it's funny. I'm not trying to insult you, as you clearly are trying to threaten me, but that shows me that you don't know anything. You don't have any sort of political literacy or reading comprehension. White people don't want to deport all the black people. They want to re-enslave us. You can't re-enslave us to do all the work if we're not here. Like, no, baby, no. So, you know, there's a lot of things you can threaten me with. A lot of things. Deportation ain't one of them. Okay, goodbye.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, we've been seeing a lot of white MAGA supporters crying out to the world because of the suffering they are undergoing at the moment. Most of them went to the ballot to vote against their own interest. They never knew that it was gonna affect them directly. Now, most of them are crying out not because this is affecting everyone, but just because it is affecting them. If it was not going to affect them directly in their businesses and in their workplaces, they could not have come out to complain about the tariffs. They could not have come out to complain about the ICE rates and everything else that is happening in the US. Now, most of them are facing losses. They are making losses in their business. Most of the MAGA supporters' businesses are shutting down just like any other. You know why? because they voted without considering other aspects. Sometimes I've always said we, the people, are the problem. The political class is not the problem, because we've made the same errors over time, and we continue complaining, we continue crying out that someone else is benefiting, or someone else is not doing this, is not doing that. We've cried out for a very long time, and we've made the same mistakes, But when we make these mistakes, we try as much as we can to gaslight the other people to think that they are the one offending us. Now, when elections were near last year, most of the people rooted for whatever is now considered the policies that were going to save America, the ones that were going to restore American dignity and the greatness. Let me just say the greatness, because that's whatever most of the people believed. Now, look at the things that are happening right now. No greatness at the moment. Most of the people have lost their businesses. Those people who used to work in their farms are now gone. Some of them do not come out in the farms because they fear ICE raids, Some of them who used to work in the farms have been kicked out of the country without the legal process, And most of these people are now crying out, not because their brothers and sisters or those who worked for them were kicked out in an illegal way, or they were kicked out in an unfair way. They're crying out just because their businesses are not bringing profits as they used to. They're crying out because those that expected greatness to come their way isn't working anymore. Most of those who elected or voted for the same government have turned their back against the same government that they consider is not working for them. This is whatever I've always said. When you include emotions in making your decisions, it becomes so expensive to retract whatever you've done previously. Now, as I've always said, hatred is expensive as much as racism is expensive. Most of the people who are trying out as much as they can to cry out so that might get the world attention are the same people who voted out of hatred. I know some of them voted for goodwill, maybe to control the borders, to make America great because it is their country. But when you vote, you might put so many other things into consideration. You might just not go to the ballot because you are needed to vote. Then you cast your vote and go out. You need to consider a lot of things. And this is when I've always had a problem with those people who go to vote using emotions. The moment you start thinking with your emotions or your feelings, instead of using your brain, instead of using your intellectual capacity to distinguish between whatever is bad or good, or using intelligence or intellectual capacity to evaluate whatever policies can be good and those that can affect you and affect your brothers and sisters, that's when we failed. When we try to reason, when we try to subject our thoughts to feelings, that's when we go down. That's when we go wrong. Each time when people come together, then they try as much as they can to show hatred, to show racism or any other thing that is very negative. It has always been expensive. The results are always not the way they wanted. Brothers and sisters, I've always said the only way we are going to be great, the only way we are going to make the world to work, we have a planet to keep safe. We have a planet that needs all of you, that needs me, needs you, needs someone else, But when we start hating on each other, when we start practicing identity politics, then that's when we go down the trench. Politicians have always been politicians. I've always said that these are the same people who meet, who go out together, who make fun of you. So when you start voting people with a lot of feelings, thinking that this other guy is a messiah sent from heaven, remember, he or she is a politician, and the only thing they can do better, or the things that they have done with perfection, is protecting their own interest. And the political class has always maintained that it doesn't matter who you elect, it doesn't matter if they're Democrats, it doesn't matter if they're Republicans, they've always safeguarded their interests. And that's where the people go wrong. And that's why I've always said we are the problem. The political class is not the problem. Because if we've managed to be brainwashed for all this time, then we must be having a problem somewhere. We must go back and realize, or we must go back and look where the rain started beating us. When did the rain started beating California? When did the rain started beating Missouri, Texas, Nebraska, all these other states that are very, very much depended on when it comes to farming and all these other activities? When farms go down, the food security of a country is threatened. And when that happens, now you risk having famine and you risk inflation. And when inflation happens, you know how much hard life becomes. So it doesn't really matter of those policies that have been brought about by Democrats or Republicans, but the only thing that matters is what's the long impact if these policies were to be taken seriously and be implemented. Are these policies going to affect you, or affect your brother, or affect your sister negatively or positively? Sometimes we only consider ourselves without paying attention to whatever is around us. If we really want to make things work, then we have to change the way we've always perceived things, or the way we've always done things in the past. We must come together as the people. We must apologize for whatever or whatever we've done wrong. Let's not keep the white supremacy going. Let's stop the white fragility that you do not have to accept your mistake directly. Rather, you have to put it on someone else because you believe they're inferior and you can get away with. Most people do things that are horrible, but they believe that the system protects them because of their skin color. That's very wrong. And that's whatever has led to identity politics, that we play along with political games that are aligned to our color. The political games that are aligned to your social class and where you come from, the job you do, and all these other things. Why can't we be so much brave and start practicing politics of policies? You know, the PP, the triple P. Practice politics of policies, you know, that the policies you do or the policies you elect today, even if things got worse, you won't crying out because you voted thinking you want to punish someone else. So the only thing we can do, we as the people, is to come together, unite. And when we talk about unity, some people take it lightly. But unity is far most the best thing you and me can have. The best thing that can bring you and me together to discuss things that are going to make our countries better, are going to make ourselves better, and those people close to us. Brothers and sisters, we can yap, we can preach, but if we are not ready to change, if we are not ready to bring the good things that we've always talked about, it's much as it's like doing nothing. We must come together, we must unite, and we must do whatever is good for us, whatever is good for the better of tomorrow. Don't go to elect someone because the politics that they have align with you at the moment, because you think they might affect someone else. What if tables were turned upside down? What will happen to you? Right? Are you going to be a beneficiary of whatever you voted for, or you are still going to be the same way and continue ranting on the internet and making false accusation and calling others names, we must change. And the only way to change is by accepting our mistakes. Most of the people wanted the black community to be deported. Most of them voted deportations for their those undocumented immigrants. They never really sat down and realized that these are the people who are really doing good for the economy. These are the people who are supporting the economy at the greater level. What if they get deported? Where are you going to get your laborers? Where are you going to get your profits? The profits are only realized when people come together and when people share so many other things together. Profits and the economy doesn't depend on one person. It depends on quite a number of factors, and those factors include those people you don't want, the illegal immigrants or the undocumented immigrants, those that offer cheap labor, and in plenty of it, So we might want to come together and stop the division that is existing between us. There is no black, there is no white, there is no red, there is no yellow. We are all people of the human race, and we must behave as one, or behave as such. So this is whatever I really want to share with you. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. Let's see and talk in our videos later on. Thank you so much.